Hello and welcome to Police Beat. I'm Officer Ben Tobias, the spokesperson for the Gainesville Police Department.
And I'm Sergeant Sharna Sen, a day shift patrol supervisor.
We're glad you could join us for this episode of Police Beat. In our first segment, we'll talk about the recent demolition of the GPD headquarters.
That's right, Ben. If you've driven by 6th Street and 8th Avenue lately, you've obviously noticed the GPD headquarters has finally been demolished. The original station was built in 1953 and has undergone countless renovations since then. In 2010, the headquarters was vacated in order to undergo yet another renovation. Once construction crews began, they noticed many different problems with the building that made another renovation unsafe and expensive. After almost 2 years of discussion, it was determined that the best course of action would be to demolish the existing structure and rebuild from the ground up.
On January 31st, after sitting empty for over 2 years, crews began demolishing the old headquarters. I was lucky enough to be there when the excavator took those first bites of the old building, and I can tell you there was a lot of emotion in the air. A majority of us took the oath of office and became police officers in that building. But now we have new faces and new officers, so we're excited to begin the process of building a new headquarters. In the following segment, we'll give you a very close look at the demolition. The Police Beat crew captured some of the action and actually placed cameras on the excavation equipment to give you the closest possible view of the demolition. We hope you enjoy.
I took over the project in mid-2010. Since that time, we've discovered some things that have changed the scope of what we had intended to do. As a result of some recommendations that we received from construction analysis and different companies, we ended up proposing a new facilities. The commission graciously agreed to fund a new facility as opposed to a renovation to the old facility. This past facility here, GPD Headquarters, started in 1952, and basically every 10 years until '83 had something done to it. There was a new addition. So it had different levels of construction, different techniques, different materials. It really got to the point where we had to do something different. We started from ground zero here by taking everything down.
Demolition went off without a hitch. No major issues with the neighbors. We did have 4 neighborhood workshops before we even got started, so I think the word was out beforehand. I know Captain Scott and our team went around to the neighbors and let them know before we started demolition.
We're very environmentally conscious about this whole project. The commission demands, our citizens demand that.
Part of the demolition isn't just tearing the building down and taking it to a landfill. This project is a LEED certified project, and part of that is recycling as much of the construction and demolition debris as possible.
So the materials here, the vast majority of these materials are going to be recycled. So the recycling procedures take longer. They have to actually separate the concrete from the metal. They literally sorted that stuff out and crushed the concrete to get some of the steel out.
LEED is leadership in engineering and environmental design. So it's really a holistic approach. It's a certification process for the building itself, and it looks at it starting with design all the way through construction. It really is a neat program that at the end of the day you have metrics that measure how well you did on a rating scale. We're targeting a LEED silver. We're going to shoot for gold. Obviously we'll try and maximize as many points as we can get and strive for gold.
And this project is built upon that. I mean, the entire project, everything here, the bricks, everything that were taken away from this site, as best as possible that could be recycled was recycled.
We track all of the loads that leave the site, whether they go to a landfill or whether they go to a recycling facility. Every load is weighed, and we track it by weight of the percentage of the overall project, how much of the construction and demolition debris is diverted from landfills. So it's keeping the trash out of the landfills. Gilbane has a company-wide policy that we target a 75% diversion or recycling percentage on all of our projects, whether it's a LEED project or not. Cross Construction Services was the demolition contractor who was taking the building down and in charge of all the recycling efforts on site. We really went extremely smooth, the whole demolition process. You want to look at it and with safety in mind first and foremost, and that's the exact reason why you do take a kind of a more surgical approach to it, is to make sure that the building comes down and that none of the workers or public in the surrounding areas are all kept safe at all times. We had a few challenges with the structure and how to isolate certain parts of the structure so that it's not just just taking a bulldozer and knocking it down. You do have to take a look at the structure itself and do it in a safe manner. We did install protection along 6th Street for pedestrian and vehicular traffic. We closed a lane to make sure that when we were taking that west side of the building down that we weren't in danger of having any materials fall outside the construction fence. We used water hoses to keep the dust down, and that seemed to work really well. We also took some precautionary air monitoring during demolition to just make sure that the pollution levels were okay. At the end of the day, the building it's been constructed, environmentally sustainable construction practices. The indoor air quality is better for the occupants, and it's a more sustainable way of doing construction than we used to do in the old days.
Hope to put a foundation within the next couple of weeks and get that started. Once we get the foundation of the building completed, we'll go from there and start moving it up. Commission's review of the project, they thought it would be better for us to have the facility located on the corner. Thought that would be a better presentation for the community. The facility will be on the corner of 6th Street and 8th Avenue. I think this is a time that folks that have been here for some time and saw the building change. There are people that predate me here that were here in '83 when they added to the building last. And now some of these people are coming back, or people like the chief who worked here when it was added onto, and to see something new occur, to see that building demolished, it was a bittersweet moment. You're happy to see that we have an investment in our department with new facilities, but there's some sadness in that. There are memories attached to the old facility, very touching. That's where I came in, that's where I was sworn in. It's gone now. And it's a new day. It's just like a new sunrise occurring. It's a new day. And as opposed to dwelling in the past, and we really are looking forward to the future. We're looking forward to having a chance to put our stamp on the new facilities. And it is a facility that's designed to incorporate community involvement.
Well, yeah, it's something that we were able to coordinate before we started the demolition process was really neat. We were able to allow the City of Gainesville and Alachua County Fire Departments to come out and do some training exercises on the building before we started to tear it down, and that was really neat for them to be able to do some real life extractions and just some hands-on training that they normally wouldn't have the opportunity to do.
We actually have a room that we call the community room. It's intended to invite citizens in and let them have meetings there. It's really intended to be part of the community and not set aside. We won't have any huge fences up to separate us from the community because we work for the community. Those are our employers. It will give a new doorway into this community. It should be an enhancement, and it's something the commission felt pretty strong about, and we agree with it. We anticipate that we will complete this about a year from now, and get our family back together, so to speak.
We encourage you to follow the construction project on our special page on GPD's website. You can view pictures and video of the construction, and we have a webcam watching the construction site 24/7, so you can watch the new construction as it happens.